Hello everybody, welcome from me, Jack, and finally from the FrankEnlise. It's been quite quiet for a while, but there are quite a few things that have happened. The first thing is that I've swapped out the wheels for some of the original AWI wheels, which I preferred to the ones that were on there. I've forgotten their name now, but they were the sort of spoked ones, whereas these are sort of the original ones, which I think suit the shape of the Elise, the sort of rounded, bubbly shape of the Elise much better. But there are some other sort of updates as well. The windscreen wiper was always absolutely awful on this, so I bought a replacement from Elise Parts, pretty reasonably priced, from what I remember around £30. If you're interested, do go and have a look at their website. Pretty easy to fix, just take the old one off, put the new one on. You have to fight against the spring initially to get the bolt in, but then it's a 10-minute job essentially, and it makes a massive difference. This actually clears the rain away, even at speed. There's two other things that I want to do today. First of all, it seems like the alternator is on the way out because it makes a sort of chirruping noise. It's not the belt, before you all say it's about tension. I have checked that, and I started the car without the alternator attached and the noise went away. So I'm fairly comfortable that it is the alternator. I have a new one here. It's a fairly cheap one because it's from eBay. It was £85, but it will keep me going for at least a couple of years, I'm hoping. Meantime, I'll get the original one that's in the car rebuilt. But because I'm using the Elise as a daily at the moment, I couldn't just take the old one off and, you know, take a week or whatever to get it rebuilt. So I'll be doing that today. But also, we'll have a look underneath the car because something's still not quite right about the handling with this car, and I'm wondering if there's something worn at the front. It's from the front end that it's coming, that it's not right. And so we'll have a quick look at the suspension from Elise Parts. Again, Elise Parts, I have bought this. This is an engine mount, and the standard one is quite loose in the housing. This is, I don't know if you can see, I'll put it on afterwards, it's tapered, so that as it goes in, it holds the engine better and you don't get the same amount of engine movement. Again, quite a cheap bit. I can't remember if it was 20 or 30 quid, something like that, from Elise Parts. So we'll fit that today. That should be relatively straightforward, I'm hoping. But the first thing to do is the alternator. Right, let's have a quick look under the car. There's the lovely new Bilsteins that I put on some time ago. Back end. Now this is what you get with the shifter that I've got from Prodomax, which is brilliant, and I might be changing that attachment to the hole to make it less of a quick shift. See if you can see that, sorry. But more importantly, everything at the back looks okay. But let's have a quick look at the front of the car. So I tried earlier, there's no play in any of the bearings. The wishbones, the bushers all look okay. There's no obvious movement pushing up on the ball joints. So I don't know. I have to conclude it's probably something to do with the tyres. I've got some second-hand, quite old tyres on this, which came with the other wheels, but they were better than the ones I had on here in the first place, so I thought it might make it feel different. But next step, brand new set of tyres, and then we'll see how it handles and take it from there. Anyway, yeah, just got to take the wheel off.
You have to do that one again?
Yeah. Then I have to take the liner off, and apparently you can get to the alternator from that side, so let's see. I mean, I'll show you from underneath, this is what it looks like and where it is. You're definitely not going to get it out from there. There it is, so it's definitely not coming out from this part of the car. Hopefully, the alternator. Hopefully, it'll be coming out from here. Right, so first thing is to remove a tightening bolt at the bottom. This bolt here next and there is a non-standard heat shield, which is a good thing, I suppose. It's just going to get in the way a little bit while I'm taking it out. But this thing next, then the connectors, and in theory you should be able to remove it. And this is where I realised that I should have removed the terminals before I completely disconnected the alternator and took the bolts out. But the shield was in the way, so I couldn't really get to them, so I'll just have to do it here. The old alternator came out fairly easily, and I've got the new one in place, but it's not going in through that bracket. And Anton has just told me that, something I didn't realise, there is a little sleeve on there that you need to tap back out, and then to make room for it. And once it's in and you bolt it all up, the sleeve comes back in and pinches it all together. So when I started this job, I thought that getting the alternator out through the side would be the issue, because I know some people have struggled with that. That was pretty easy. You just manoeuvre it around, switch it around, pull it out, it's come out, got the new one in. Big problem now is just that sleeve that's sitting on the side there. I've been trying to push it back. There's no room because the headers are going down as well. So I've resorted to getting one of the original bolts, putting it back in, putting the nut on one side so it goes through, and then trying to hit it from the other side, but it's just not easy. That has moved very slightly, but it's still not quite there. New alternator is in, and also I have adjusted the Prodomex shifter so that it is now on an inner hole, and it gives me a little bit more travel at the lever, which makes it less notchy, and I think I'm happier with that than with the quick shifter position. So now changing the gearbox mount, as you can see, it's normally just there. So it wasn't an engine mount, but it kind of is. The gearbox is attached to the engine. So that's where it is. It's fairly easy to get out. And this is the old one. And this is the new one. And you can kind of see the difference because this is tapered. So it narrows to about the same width as that. And then it fattens up as it goes to the top. So it has a better grip on the rubber donut around the gearbox. And as a result, the whole engine gearbox assembly moves less. Not just that, but this, the one I had, is way longer and was a pain to fit. So, oh, it's this way around, there we go. So this is going to be much quicker to fit because you don't have a billion turns on this nut to sort out in quite an inaccessible place as well. So the new mount is on. It was a bit fiddly to get in, but I'm sure it's going to locate the gearbox a lot better. So this new gearbox mount, well, it's not a new mount. The sleeve that goes into the mount really does make a difference. And I think for the price, it was about 15 quid. It is an absolute no-brainer, really. And so what difference does it make? Well, it seems like the Elise just pitches into the corner in a little bit more of a precise and a controlled manner. And it wasn't bad at all before. But now it just feels a little bit more together. Also, when you're driving quickly, changing gear seems to be a little bit more effortless. I've got the Prodomex linkage, which does help. And actually, although in the previous clips you saw me changing the position on the Prodomex, I've gone back to the short shift position because it just seems to work better. But anyway, back to the sleeve, the mount. The one downside of it, I suppose, is that you would get more NVH, so more vibration, more noise. I have to say I haven't really noticed that. What I have noticed, but it might not be down to that, is just that the ride feels a little bit more choppy. I don't see how a gearbox mount could do that, so it could just be that using this car every day, and especially driving it slower, because obviously when you're going through villages, towns and so on, you're not going out for that sort of Sunday blast that I used to use it for. And maybe it's just more evident where the suspension is a bit stiffer than you'd expect. So perhaps it's not down to that. In any case, I really do recommend that sleeve. It's awesome. Also the wiper arm with the stronger spring, so it sort of helps to keep the wiper blade in touch with the screen. That's been working really, really well, and I think, again, that's really good value. The alternator seems to be sorted, so that's great. Really happy with the new wheels. The one thing is, got to sort out this issue with the way the front end of the car feels. I'm pretty confident the tyres have something to do with it, and I know loads of you are going to be going, well, have you still got old tyres? Why didn't you get new tyres? Well, one thing at a time, and I'm not made of money, and if I put these sort of second-hand wheels on with what seemed to be good tyres and they were all right, then that would have been okay, but they're not. So the next step is to get some new tyres. Tell me what you think, because there's really little choice of road tyres on these. I don't really want to get AD08Rs because I don't need them. I'm not going to do any track days, and having more grip on the road doesn't equate to more fun in my view. It has plenty of grip on normal road tyres, so let me know what options you think are out there, because I've looked, and actually apart from, I think Yokohama Advans, what are they called? The ones that have proxies. They're the only ones I've seen which you can get in road tyre sizes for this car. Otherwise it's AD08. Thank you all so much for watching, I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing some more work to this over the next few months. I still absolutely love the Elise. It is just one of the best cars out there. It is just absolutely awesome. What a great little car. Thank you all for following, and I'll be seeing you for the next video.